Hello, good morning and welcome. It's Saturday the 17th of June and we'll start, it's commitment of traders, and we'll start as ever with the Australian dollar. We've seen a rally in the dollar the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we've got up this week to about 76.50. The commercials have not increased their shorts, and the speculators and the commercials around about the zero mark. There isn't really a lot in it. The commercials are in fact, slightly long. I'm pretty sure now that they've got up to this sort of level that the commercials will be increasing their selling. So next week I expect to see quite a big short on the commercials. And if we look at the chart, we have just above and from this position here up to this blue line there is only about 100 pips, because there isn't a lot of movement in this pair. We have two quite heavy resistance lines. These are turning points, historic turning points. So if we look back at this one at the top here, there we go, resistance, quite heavy resistance on this. Go over to the weekly, see if there's anything older. Just the one there, basically. And the line below, turning point there, a bit of resistance there, turning point there, heavy resistance over there. So you can see there is a lot of resistance above. So I'm looking at that as a fairly decent short as to where it is now. I don't really see a lot more upside in it. I've put the trend line on. The RSI is nearly touching the 69.1, which is a decent place to short from. This is sort of like what I consider to be like the prime area to get a good short on, and we are up against the Bollinger Band, and yep, that looks like a good short to me. Next up, we've got the British pound. We've seen longs added again this week, and we have seen a little bit of a rise in the value of the pound against the dollar after it's had this big breakdown. So let's just pop across to the chart, which is chart 1. Okay, pound USD, here we go. So we're at 171 long, 127 short, which is still, yeah, we've actually had some of the shorts removed this week, and a few of the longs removed, but I still view this as a fairly decent long. I didn't get into it because I'm already fairly committed on other pairs. And that there's better things. I think that the pound Australian dollar or the pound New Zealand dollar is actually a better position to take. So that's basically why I'm not in it. Canadian dollar, yeah, we've actually lost some of the longs this week. We are already at quite a high. I'm expecting this to fail. So if we just look at the chart number 2, USD CAD, right? We're actually, this is USD CAD. So when this shorts, the Canadian dollar is in fact longing. We've broken through this major support here, which is historic turning points. I really don't see much downside on this, to be quite honest. We've lost some of the longs this week. We've lost a few of the shorts as well. And I view this pair up to long and the Canadian dollar to short just on the fundamentals for the Canadian dollar. There you go. The euro, as we've seen, and we've noticed this over quite a few weeks, the commercials position that was always long the euro swapped a few weeks back, and it went short, and it went short heavily. We've held for the last 3 or 4 weeks at a bearish, very bearish position, and we are quite overbought on the euro. I'm expecting this to come down quite quickly. We've seen a little bit of weakness this week, but I think when it actually breaks down, it should break down quite quickly. So if we look at the chart, Euro USD, I've put this channel on down here. How much attention the candles are going to pay to it, we will see. But we did have a bit of strength on Friday, but Thursday we had a nice big candle down. We're at 211 long and 301 short. Now those figures are a little bit sort of skewed because of the long-term long position that the commercials have had. So the changes were basically the same. 23,000 longs added, 22,000 shorts. Not a lot of difference there. And we continue. We think, excuse me, we shall see a continued short over the next couple of weeks on this pair. Next one up, Japanese yen. Yeah, well, the commercials have still got a long position on this, and if we go, it has shorted the last couple of weeks. And if we go over to the charts, yeah, chart 2, Japanese yen. There you go. We've seen, sorry, yeah, we've seen a little bit of strength the last couple of days on this pair, so that's weakness on the Japanese yen. We are expecting this to break down. We're at the 50 on the RSI. These lines here above resistance, these are turning points, historic turning points. So we are very close to some historic turning points, which is strong resistance. And we are still nearly 2-to-1 long the Japanese yen, short the pair. So we are looking for a turn down on that. Let's go back to the Swiss franc. Well, some of the longs have actually been taken off the Swiss franc, and we have actually seen a fall. We're down a little bit on the Swiss franc, so I'm always wary of this because it is a safe haven currency, and I don't really want to be shorting the Swiss franc just in case. So we've had 1,000 longs added, but 2,000 shorts. So basically, I'm expecting the rise in the Swiss franc to slow a bit. We've seen that a little bit over the last 7 or 8 trading days, where we've had a little bit of a rise in the value of the USD Swiss franc. So I don't know how long that's going to continue, but the Swiss franc is expensive on swaps, and unless you're longing it, it can be very dangerous, is my humble opinion. Mexican peso. We have added a lot of bearish positions with the elections last week. I actually came out of this trade not a happy bunny. I'm looking to get back in. So we are down now on, this is quite strong resistance here. This is 1791. that I view as fairly heavy resistance, support in fact. Um, so I'm looking for that to come back up. We're just below the 39.1 on the RSI, and there was 20,000 shorts added and 8,000 longs. Those are the changes in positions. So we'll see what happens with that next week. New Zealand dollar. Yeah, well, this has crossed over to go short. We have seen quite a rise in the value of the New Zealand dollar. It's actually longed against the dollar, the US dollar. There we go. And now we see it coming to a little bit of a weakness, finding a bit of weakness at the top here. We had 4,000 more shorts added, and we lost 89 longs. So it is looking like it's coming up into a little bit of resistance, and we are expecting a turn down in this pair. We are at the 69.1 on the RSI, which is always good, and we have actually, I had a trend line in there, it would have broken it. So I am looking for that to short next week. Energies, crude oil. We lost a little bit of the shorts this week. We lost a little bit of the shorts. We have seen a big fall in the price of oil, and I'm expecting this to go down a bit further, purely on the few fundamentals for oil and the oversupply and the stock levels that are in the US, etc. So I am expecting a little bit more of a fall on that, and I will just find the chart in a second. Says he. There we go. Western Texas. Right, we're coming up here against support. Yeah, this is a turning point. If I can just pop that on there. There you go. You've got a turning point there. There. Yeah. So it's at the turning point. It might take a couple of days to get over it, and I'm expecting a fall down to 40. Excuse me. So we'll see how that goes. But nice trade. Whoops. Go on. Anything? Metals. Silver. Same. We have lost some of the shorts on silver, but we have had a big fall in the silver, so I expect some of those to have come off. We will have a look at the charts, even this chart here. Silver coming up to a little bit of support. It's sort of flagging a little bit here, but really I am expecting this to follow through down. I'm actually out at the moment, so well, I'll have to wait a bit until I get back in, but I have done two really great trades on this, so I'm really pleased that for the trades that I've got. Never get annoyed for the little bit that you missed. It's always the bit that you've got. Just be pleased for it. All profit is good profit. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. And I did try to make that a bit more interesting with the charts and what have you. So hopefully see you again on Monday for the daily fundamental and technical analysis. Okay, thanks. Cheers now.